Speaker of the House Mike Johnson held a press conference on the Democratic shutdown, or as they call it, the Democrat shutdown. And it also was a chance for him to respond to last night's Democratic sweep. And not just victories, but larger margins than I expected, larger margins probably than he expected, and a shift across the board in these states towards Democrats. And one little whoopsie that was happening to this press conference was he was being heckled by a Democratic member of Congress. So a Democrat came to the press conference and was just screaming at him, epic. And we know well now in these press conferences, Lisa McClain is always a whippersnapper. And she was whipping and a snapping. Okay, get ready for this.
I can't hear you because we have someone who doesn't respect the rights of their colleagues over here. I'd love to talk with you. Wait. I'd love to talk with you. Come to my office, okay?
You have an obligation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about it. I've been doing that. We did that before the shutdown began. We went to the White House. We went and sat.
No, y'all haven't been negotiating since then. That was so funny. You haven't. Mike's like, all right, Lisa. All right. Then this. Also, he said they're taking. Did you hear him say we have a member who doesn't respect our rights? What did he mean by that? Well, he'll explain further here.
Yes. Go ahead. I've called on somebody else. Go ahead.
Thank you.
We're having a press conference. Thank you. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am. And you should respect free speech. What's the question?
This is so beautifully terrible. It's so chaotic. You just gotta love it, don't you? He said, this member doesn't respect our rights. You have to respect our free speech. Do people even know what free speech is? No, she's using her free speech shouting at you. It's not taking away your free speech to yell at you. That's just you exchanging free speeches. Then on Prop 50 passing, which allows California to redistrict to combat the Republican redistricting, you had Mike Johnson saying, this is not fair. Please do click the subscribe button. If you appreciate the show, right below the video is a button. It says subscribe. And by clicking it, you help us out and you help get the word out.
I don't have anything to do with redistricting. The Speaker of the House, people think, are in charge of everything. This is a state-by-state battle. We do believe at the end of the day that we will net more seats for the Republican Party than the Democrat Party. I mean, everybody, that's the analysis. I'll make a comment about the tragedy in California last night. What California did is very, very different, as you all know, by comparison to what a state like Texas did. Texas was following the federal and state constitution, following their state law and redistricting. California was not. They had to trample over their own state law, over their own independent redistricting commission that they had all put into place. It was a desperation, a sign of desperation on the Democrat Party. It was a game to try to rig the election, as if you could gerrymander California anymore. They managed to do it. I mean, there's like 53
There are states that are red that are way more gerrymandered even before this than California, but okay. Did you hear what he said? It makes me want to pound my head with this thing. He said that California allowing themselves to redistrict to gain more Democratic seats in Congress is them trying to rig the election. But California's only doing it because Texas announced they were going to do this mid-decade redistricting. So number one, that's absurd. Then he says, no, Luke. But the reason is California had to trample over their law and their independent redistricting commission or whatever. And Texas didn't. Because Texas wasn't trying to avoid gerrymandering before. So you're right, they had to change their law to allow for this. And they let their people vote on it. Texas didn't, because Texas wasn't having an independent commission doing it before. Like, think about that. It's great when Texas does it. It's rigging the election when California only does it as a response to Texas doing it. And the reason why there's that double standard for him, by his argument, is that California before this was trying harder to avoid gerrymandering than Texas was. They before wanted an independent commission to try to avoid insanely gerrymandered maps. But then they went through the legal process and got California voters to agree to change the law on that temporarily for the sake of this midterm in response to Texas. Unbelievable. He would think that makes any sense. You then have Emmer saying this.
Pro-terrorist Marxist radicals are now the left's mainstream. We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about. That is a direct quote from Kami Mamdani, and it should terrify every single freedom-loving American.
I will not stand for slander. But Kami Mamdani's pretty good. That's pretty good. I got an A. It's a pretty good nickname. Not accurate, but I'm saying like that does sound pretty, that's smooth. Kind of like Slopadopoulos. I don't like the nickname or the name calling, but that's pretty good. No, so what are we supposed to lower the temperature? Isn't that what we were saying? Was anyone saying that? Some people were saying that. And you're now just like Levitt saying the left is pro-terrorists? Come on. Unbelievable. Kami Mamdani. But he also pronounced Mamdani wrong to make it rhyme more. Mandami. Kami Mandami, I think is what he said. It's just chaos going on. I love how the quote is, there's no problem too big for the government to address and no concern too small for it to care about or something like that. It was like, that's communism. Well, first of all, Trump's been doing the most federal overreach. So apparently y'all like big government more than anyone. And also saying the government can solve big problems. Let me clarify. Saying I as an elected official will see any problem as not too big to solve and any concern as not too small to care about. I think that's normally what politicians are supposed to say. To say that's communism, I think they're supposed to say I'll care about your concerns and I'll address big problems. Then Mike Johnson copes hard.
Eruptions. They've assaulted ICE officers. They have spurred on political violence, and they closed down the government, which is their most basic duty and responsibility. I think the American people are smart. I think they will understand this, and I think the midterm is going to be a great one for us. We had a demographic shift in 2024. We have a very favorable election map on the Republican side, and it will be even more favorable once all the redistricting stuff is settled out. We have Democrats who are flailing. They have no leader. Their national leader now, as we've noted, is Mamdani. He's a communist. Good luck with that.
Yeah, well, Mamdani doesn't exist. So I don't know how
Zamdami.
I don't know how Zamdani could be the leader of anything, because that's not a person. Or maybe it's a person, but it's not the guy who ran for New York mayor. But I also love that. I mean, he's now a very prominent figure. He just pulled off a historic election in New York City. But you really want to argue the leader nationally of the Democratic Party is the mayor of a city? Doesn't seem likely. And I think there's something beautiful, actually, about us not being obsessed with having one leader. That's y'all's thing. I don't think we need one leader to nationally guide the entire party. Ultimately, I'd hope that someone steps up on the presidential level, obviously. But having a diversity of thought, different types of candidates being successful in different areas, and not needing one figurehead is fine. So then he says we're going to win the midterms. They're going to be great, but we do have to wait for redistricting to happen because that's really important. Right after saying that redistricting in California is rigging the election. Okay. And then he says, so what are the issues that the campaigns are going to be about? And he feels really good on these two issues. Let's hear what the issues are.
Berger did very well with whatever it is, 80% of the healthcare bills. Look, and that's the thing. As well. Look at numbers. What forward? How are you deal with
I don't know what that was, but a lot of they could have set up a mic for the questions.
But the economy and healthcare are two of the primary issues in the country, clearly, and that's why we are delighted to run on our record. We are addressing that. We are delivering for the people. We are fulfilling our.
Why'd the election go so hard in the opposite direction as you did? I love that. Can we please do that? Can we please, Mike, will you please promise me that you won't utter a culture war narrative? You won't fixate on this random issue or that one, and the whole midterms can just be about the economy and healthcare? If you promise, I promise. Let's do that and see how it goes. Because the elections, exit polling proves people are fed up with Trump's handling of the economy, Republicans handling the economy, and Republicans have never been popular in healthcare. That's always been Democrats' best issue. And you also just ripped healthcare away from millions of Americans. So that's like the perfect. So yes, please let that be the two issues. One more clip.
I don't think the loss last night was any reflection about Republicans at all. I think people are frustrated and angry, as we are. I am. The president is. And we express that different ways. But look, we look forward. We're looking forward to a great election running on our record. And we're gonna get all of our incumbents reelected, and we're going to add to the number here. So that's the.
That's a doozy of a quote. I don't think the loss last night was any reflection about Republicans at all, despite Republicans losing. I think people are frustrated and angry, as we are. I am. The president is. And we express that in different ways. Some of us say stuff in young Republican group chats to vent that frustration. Some of us vote for Democrats in every single state that was up last night. And some of us fill in Mike Johnson joke. I don't know. I was trying to think of something silly about Mike Johnson, but we've overdone the sun thing, you know. It's just, So that's Mike Johnson's press conference.